Alright guys, so the last video I recorded, which is actually the one you're watching right now, I felt like I didn't really explain things very well, and it was kind of jumbled all over the place. So I'm making this to maybe make a little bit more sense as you watch. If you've been watching for a little while, you know that Ryan picked up a 4th gen in 2014, not all that long ago, and what we were trying to accomplish in this video, which is actually this past weekend, was to reroute his crankcase breather. Now, if you're familiar, the factory location actually routes it down into your intake, and it really is the primary cause for VGT turbo failure. Basically, all the crankcase, vapors and oils and stuff that would come off of that are going to go right into the front of your turbo, which ultimately makes the vanes stick, stuff like that. So on the truck behind me, my 2008, I was able to do this even before my truck was a little more modified, let's put it that way. Didn't have any really tuning done to it or anything like that. I was able to do that and not have any check engine light or perform service light. So naive of me to think that the newer trucks might be a little more sensitive. His truck ended up coming on with a check engine light like 300 or 400 miles down the road, not right after we did it. So I thought everything was going to be great. We did it, no problems. We drove it around, as you'll see in the video a little bit, but it did end up having a check engine light come back on. So I just wanted to reiterate, before someone thinks that you might be able to do this modification and maybe not have a check engine light. On these older trucks, I was able to do it and get that rerouted so it didn't affect the performance of the turbo later down the road. So hopefully that clears things up. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the video from this past weekend. So as you all saw before, Ryan still has all of his lovely, awesome emission stuff on the truck. So what we're gonna be doing, and it's very hard to see until we start diving into it, this tube right here is where the crankcase breather comes out of the top of the valve cover. Comes out this hose right here, goes down into this hard line, and then goes all the way down and actually goes right into your intake. So all that lovely crank exhaust, fumes and oils and stuff like that go right into the face of your turbo. All right, so I also just want to say the things you are gonna need to do this aren't very much, but you're gonna need some hose to get from here, and usually people run them alongside here. And also there is a hole that you will see in a little bit in your intake down here that needs to be obviously capped off. Now, people make kits for this, but I am fairly certain that we're going to be able to go to a couple different stores and maybe pick up exactly what we need to block off that hole without, actually buying a kit. Alright, so here you can see a little better. So from the crankcase, it comes down into into a hard tube, and then into this, obviously right before your intake. So let's have a look and see what the turbo looks like on this truck. I've seen them a lot worse, I'm not gonna lie. So if you look down inside here, this big freaking bazooka tube looking thing right before your intake. On older trucks, it actually is like, you can see there's a whole bunch of baffles, and they actually mold it into this, which on this year, the whole damn thing just pulls right out. Now, I'm not an expert on 4th gens, I'm sure I'm going to get corrected, but I believe this is actually just to make it quieter. I mean, I know it does, and I apologize for the wind, so shut up about that. But I believe this is actually just to make it quieter. I don't believe it's going to really affect anything, so I think we're just going to leave it out. Yeah. Good old Nappy Auto Parts. How was the sleepover?
Very nice.
Did you already go to the gym?
Yeah, she wants to put the fucking back seat on the bike.
Oh, geez. All right, so $12.99 later, we have some 3/4 heater hose to extend that crank vent and to plug the intake here. Actually, at Napa, we found this no smoking plastic cap that actually fits perfectly right in there. All right, guys, quick update. You can see we have our new vent tube. That's it, routed right there. And then you can barely see it. We have it routed right down the end of the shock tower. I did want to route it on the inside of the frame rail, but seeing that we're on the passenger side, the exhaust is right there, so I'd rather not run the risk of melting it. So I think right there is a good location for it. It went from sunny and 70, and it looks like it is now going to rain, so we are trying to wrap this up. Don't worry, I'm not trying to film right here. How's everything coming out over there? Perfect. And there we go. We are all set. Everything back together. This is like Dumb and Dumber. This is like... Is this Dumb and Dumber, right?
Just go.
Man tandem. Yeah, hold the tits.
You know she doesn't know how to
are you simulating her riding on the back? Is that
you
right?
have to, well, if she's riding on the back, her hands are here.
She's like, you have to only do the speed limit. I was like, yes.
She's gonna ride like this.
As long as she don't fucking touch the tank.
Oh, on the tank. How much power did we gain, Ryan?
At least 100 horse.
At least 100, right?
At
least 100.
Straight, right?
No, in the fucking back.
Bagelsmith right here, Ryan. Turn.
Hey, you motherfucker! Hey, you, I know you. They used to call it the town bike. Everybody gets a ride.
Nice eco diesel. Mayor outside greeting the townspeople. The baffles out of the intake tube. You can hear the turbo just a little bit more. No, it doesn't add 100 horsepower. People are gonna give me shit about that. I was just joking. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys very soon.